So we have seen how to create a checklist template and how to add that template to manual or scheduled work orders. This time we will see how the information inside checklists can be used. So you can think that the checklist, or you can go from the point where the checklist has already been assigned to a work order. It's inside the work order, let me say it this way. And now that work order was assigned to a technician, and the technician is going to go out on the field to do that job. We will look at the list of things, say, okay, 783 has been assigned to me, and I know that it has a checklist because there's the progress bar in here that is at 0%, so nobody has done anything with this checklist yet. And also here in green, there's a tag, a label that says 0 issues. So nobody has touched this checklist yet, so I'm going to go out on the field. But before I do that, let me also show you the other way that a checklist in the work orders list looks like. If the checklist has been completed already, then you'll see the 100% in here with 0 issues in this case. But I think I have another one on the list, there you go, that has been completed to 50% and there's 1 issue. So now that information that there's 1 issue is shown in red, so it stands out on the list of work orders. So when you're doing management of the work orders, you can quickly see that there's something that was tagged as an issue on this work order. So let's go back here and let's go to 783. So now I'm the technician, I'm looking at what I have to do, and I know that I need to do something on this work order. And of course, because this is a topic of this video, we're going to look how we can do something, or how we can fill in information on the checklist. So we've got it split into groups. We already know about this, so we can group it together. So if I'm looking at the safety inspections, I can just show that so that I don't have as much information on the screen, because I'm only doing this part. So on the safety inspections, we have 2 things that we have to do, and those 2 things are checks. So we need to pass, fail, or in case we can't do it for some reason, we can press the button for non-applicable, NA. So we're gonna pass this one. So you see that the progress bar has increased, there's still no issues. And this one I'm going to fail. Now, if I fail something, it's because probably there's an issue. So the way that you tell the system that there's an issue other than failing it, or failing the line, failing the check, is by clicking or tapping on this icon here, and it says, okay, enter a new issue. Let's do that, and there's an issue. And then you have 2 buttons. You can either create an issue only, or you can create an issue and a work order for that issue at the same time. So I'll do both. The first is just the creation of an issue. So now we have that at 1 issue here at the top. Once you open this work order, or as I've shown before, if you're looking at the work order on the lists, you'll see that this becomes actually red to stand out. If it has an issue or more, it will always be red. If it has 0 issues, it will be green. So the issue that we've just added is here. There's an issue, and it says no work order because we did not create a work order for this issue, as I've mentioned before. But let's create one with a work order attached. There's another issue. So we add and create a work order for this. Once you do that, the summary of that work order is going to be the description of the issue. You can edit it. But anyway, let me show you. So add and create a work order. Again, we have this warning or this message that shows up that you can't see. It says you will create a new work order for this issue. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. And now we see that there's another issue. Has been linked, or has been the basis for the creation of work order 784. We'll look at the work order in a second. Let's just go on and go to operational steps now. So let me do this, or compress the safety inspections, operational steps. Now we have 2 verifications. So if you remember, a verification is a line, a field where the technician is supposed to record, to make a note of some reading, some value. So what is the water temperature? We'll say it's at 32 degrees, and we save it. You keep going. You can see that the progress bar keeps increasing, or keeps getting bigger. So we're doing more checks. and the outlet pressure will say it's at 32 bar, and we save that. Now I'm going to show you a general note. So I showed you the issue. The general note is just something of note that you'd like to say. This is normal, and you save it. So 32 degrees water temperature is normal. I'd like to say that, to have that show up on my report. Once we look at reports, you'll see how this shows up. So you can see here that it turned from N for no to Y because it's got a note now. So it's yes, we have a note. And now let's compress this one, and let's go to general comments and nearby area clean. Yes, it's clean, and we can take a picture. So on your mobile, it doesn't really work on my computer here. This is the camera on my computer, the back camera on my computer. So what you can do now is, if you're on a mobile, the same thing happens. You can take a picture of the area to show that it's cleaned. And is this the picture that you want? Yes, I want this picture. So you can save it, and you can take another picture if you'd like. Yes, I want another picture. And now if you close this, the pictures will show up in here, and they will also show up on the reports of this work order or this checklist later. So then the last thing that you can look at, or that has to do with checklists when you're filling in checklist or looking at the information that was logged on a checklist or an inspection, is the log. So this will just tell you who and what was done on that line of the checklist. So forever this will be stored in here to give you a log really of what has happened with that line in the checklist. So once that is done, so you see that we've completed 100% of this checklist, we can complete the work order. The two things are independent, because maybe you have a checklist in the work order that has other things that you need to do that are not only a checklist. So to have the work order be complete once the checklist is complete may not be what you desire, so you have to complete one and the other. However, if you do not complete the checklist and then try to close a work order, then the system will warn you to say, oh, you're trying to close a work order that has a checklist that has not been complete. Is this really what you want? And then you have the option to say yes or no. If no, you go back to the checklist and you complete it. If yes, okay, it will forever be a work order that has a checklist that has not been complete on it, which is okay, maybe that's the intention. So we'll go and complete that. Then we'll go back to the work order. We'll just close it. So we're all happy with this. Supervisor is going to close this work order. And because I want to show you how the work order looks like with the checklist that has been closed already. So we go back to this work order. So now it's closed. You can't do anything to this work order anymore. The information has been logged, and as you can see, shows up this way. Of course, you don't have a button anymore because you can't do anything to this checklist anymore. It's already been closed. And also you have access to the pictures. They're still here. You can zoom in on the picture. You can't delete this picture anymore because you can't manipulate this work order and this checklist anymore. It has already been closed. And that's it for the usage of an inspection checklist in CMMS inside the work order. That's how you proceed. In the next video, we'll look at how we can include checklist information in regular scheduled reports format.